I am pleased to be joined by the 20-year in-ring veteran, Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling and BC Independent Wrestling staple, High Flyin Scott Steel. Scott, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Looking forward to learning a little bit more about you. So you did take a little bit of a hiatus from wrestling and returned recently to capture the VIPW title. What made you want to return to the ring at Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling?
A couple reasons. Well, I had my daughter back in 2018, so that's why I kind of stepped away. In 2019 was just to be around more and not be the broken down dad, to be there for her. And then as she grew older, she started watching it a little bit on TV when I was watching it. So I wanted to give her the experience of me in the ring so she could see it firsthand versus me showing her on tape.
Absolutely. So you got the bug thanks to your daughter throwing it on TV. Was there anyone like on TV that really caught your eye that was like, I really want to get back out there?
No, not really. No, just I saw what was happening with VIPW and saw that it was more or less growing a little bit more. And the fresh guys down there, they're putting they're busting their butts, they're putting their time in. And I thought I can mix it up with a few of them, which we've been doing, and it's been going great. So that was a big one for me was noticing their talent and knowing that I could help elevate a little bit and give them a little bit more of my experience in it.
Absolutely. What would you say is like the biggest difference that you found from when you first started wrestling to the industry or VIPW today?
Just the backstage presence. The people now are more uh, team orientated versus trying to make the show about them. Everybody has the same common goal with putting on a good show, which is a big thing because back when I broke in, it was you had your stars at the top, and then everybody else kind of just didn't matter.
So you try to build up the rest of the scene, and you're really seeing a team effort, which is awesome to hear from that backstage presence. Like we said, you've been in the ring for a long time. You've worked with people like El Phantasma, who's now in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You've worked with
Mm.
people like Chelsea Green, who's now in WWE, and now people like Kyle O'Reilly, who's in AEW and previously in NXT. Is there anyone in VIPW in the scene right now that you kind of see as that next up and coming star?
That's a tough one. Unfortunately, some people have been riddled with some injuries, so it's kind of hard to see where they're going to go if the injuries prevent them from further going past where they're able to. Um, but there's a lot of people who I see, even if they don't go and try to make it big, there's still going to be a presence in the indie scene to helping up the next generation.
Any names at all that you want to throw out?
Well, I know I've been working with Maverick lately. He is really good. He unfortunately his knee is not 100%, which I'm going to use to my advantage at War Games in the Chamber of Extreme. So there's people like that. He's been on a little bit. He's done a couple of things. Again, you have like guys like Scotty Mac in the back too, which we all know Scotty Mac's been around forever. He's aligned with myself. He's helping to bring up these guys as well. Um, there's a guy named Badman, and there's a bright future for that guy as well. So
Very
I'm looking
cool.
forward to
Yeah, we'll look
seeing
to
where everybody comes up to.
Yeah, we'll look to keep our eyes out for the future for Madman or Badman McCann and Matt Maverick. We'll talk
Mhm.
a little bit about more War Games kind of at the end of the conversation here to plug that match as well. But aside from like what you're doing right now in VIPW, do you have any goals in the industry now that you've returned?
No, just to leave it better than I got brought into, as that's my biggest thing, is I want to make sure that everybody who I interact with has a positive experience. Because when I broke in, I've met a lot of the older vets and didn't always have the best experience with them on a personal level. So I'm trying to leave it better than I got into it as.
Absolutely, and that just means it's going to keep flourishing from there as well if you
Mhm.
leave it a better place than when you entered it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what made you want to join sides with the Cordova Corporation, with Scotty Mac, with Devon Shooter, with Ty Cordova? What made you want to join sides with them coming back to the IPW?
Well, coming back, I know I needed to have people that had my back. I've known Scotty Mac since I broke in 2005. I slept on his couch when I was breaking in and training in Vancouver. So we have a lot of history, and his experience level is through the roof. So if I align myself with someone like that, who has the experience, especially with me coming back after about a 5 year absence. It's good to have someone like that that can really make sure that I'm doing what I need to do to not only elevate myself, but elevate the company.
So you talked about War Games. We see it behind you, Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling WrestleFest, Frank Crane Arena, June 27th. Expecting, over 2,000 people, just like last year. Talk a little bit about that match.
Oh, well, we've been building it up for the past 6 months, or probably a bit further than that, because when I came back, I decided to take the title from Matt Maverick, and that's the goal that I had when I came back was to make that championship mine. Because when I left wrestling and I retired, I lost the championship, so that kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. So when I came back, I wanted it. So now we're going to WrestleFest, and it's myself, Devon Shooter, Scotty Mac. I'm not sure if we've announced our fourth man against Danny Deeds, Matt Maverick, Michael May, um, and Draco, who decided to turn his back on the Cordova Corporation and join their side. It's going to be a violent match because I know it hasn't been touched too much on with VIPW, but I know I've had a lot of hardcore matches. I've had a lot of violent matches. I know how to get to that state of mind. So I think it's going to be a hard-hitting match when it comes to all of us in the ring at the same time.
Well, I'm very excited to be there myself to see the coming together of Team VIPW versus the Cordova Corporation. Going to be a lot of madness in that ring, in that cage, on that night. Is there anything else that you would like to plug for upcoming for yourself or VIPW?
Well, we have shows all through the summer. We have I'm not sure 100% in July, but in August we have Ladysmith Days. Then we have in September we have the VIX in Nanaimo. We have the Cowichan X in Duncan. There's another kind of an exhibition in Port Alberni, I believe we have as well. And then that sets up for us for the anniversary show in September in Victoria and Langford and in Nanaimo at the Centennial Building. And then also, if we could plug the VIPW Facebook, which is VIPW Wrestling or Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling on Facebook. BJ Laredo's training camp, which is the VIPW Training Center, um, which is also on Facebook and Instagram. All that is great to plug because when I broke in, we never had training on the island. We always had to venture off to Vancouver or to elsewhere. Like I know a couple of people ended up going to Lance Storm and training over there. We never had it over here. So now that we have it on the island, it's good because, the expense to go to the mainland, it's just ridiculous. But having it here on the island is nice for people on the island to actually embrace it and be able to be a part of it who couldn't otherwise afford to train elsewhere.
And that goes back to you being able to help out, leaving the industry in a better place than when you left it. So
Absolutely.
that's awesome to have that ability to have that training center and you be able to bring any experience that you have to that area as well.
hmm Yeah, I'm not so much a trainer there, but I do pop in every now and then and just watch to see what's happening and give my 2 cents on it. But
Okay, sometimes that little voice in the back of your head helps as well.
absolutely, yes.
Yeah. And let the people know where we can find you on social media.
High Flyin Steel on Instagram, Scott Steel on Facebook, and that's pretty much about it. I keep my social media presence quite low. I'm not a big social media person. I'm rarely ever on, but you know, that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Scott. It's been a pleasure getting to hear a little bit about your journey and why you returned. And looking forward to seeing you at Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling WrestleFest in Nanaimo, June 27th at the Frank Crane Arena.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Of course.